And Calpe and Med Rowing Club have been making the final preparations for this long stretch of competition. Rowing is, of course, part of Gibraltar's sporting heritage. Calpe Rowing Club was founded way back in 1876, and the Med is now approaching its centenary year. Records of regattas between the clubs have existed now for close on to 100 years, and this, of course, has made the rivalry between both clubs quite intense. So intense at times that the norms of good sporting conduct have on occasions been exceeded. On the whole, however, the competition on race days is held in good spirit, and the atmosphere in both clubs on regatta days is quite exciting. We paid a visit to both clubs, and Calpe captain Leslie Grech and Med vice captain Liam Yates spoke to us about the hopes and aspirations of both clubs for the coming season. Well, Leslie, the bulk of the competition will of course be taking place over the next few months, but the season proper already started before Christmas with the Rotary, and the club did very well in that.
Yeah, we won the Rotary by just over 2 minutes, and next weekend we've got the Saccarello Challenge Cup, which is more or less along the same lines, which is a three-boat event, 3 boats per club, the total time of all 3 boats being added up. The only difference is that the Rotary is for the first 3 crews, the Saccarello is for senior crew, the ladies crews, and the under 18s. Yeah.
But nevertheless, that first win has set you up nicely for the Saccarellos. Could you tell us a little bit to begin with about your senior crew and the personnel involved this year?
Right, well, yeah, as you say, we won the Rotary just before Christmas. For the Saccarello, I believe we've got now this year what is possibly our strongest for many years. They've been training together all this year. We've had a number of outings. We've just come back from Seville a couple of weekends ago, and they completed a nice training weekend over there. And I'm optimistic that they're going to do very well this year. As well, I'm optimistic about the ladies. They're coming on very nicely. Perhaps a weak crew this year is our under 18s, not because they're weak as such, but basically because they're only 15 or 16 years old. So although they'll be rowing against people bigger and stronger than they are, I'm confident that they'll do well as well. But there again, they're still young.
Are there any new faces coming into the first crew and to the ladies' crews?
Well, the ladies' crews, we've got two new girls who've come in through from last summer. They've settled in quite nicely with the others, and in fact, I think all in all, I think they're going to be much stronger than last year. Our senior crew, we started off with a squad of about 10 or 11 at the beginning of the year, and from which we chose the 3 crews for the Rotary. And as we've gone along, we've narrowed it down to 4 of them. The good thing is that what I've tried to implement is that we all train exactly the same, we all go through the same procedures together, and so that at any given time we can choose any 4 from the people who are available. But certainly the 4 who will be rowing the Saccarello are going to be the 4 strongest, and they're going to be a crew to beat this year, I think. In terms of the juniors, we've got a lot of juniors in the 14, 15, 16 age range, and they'll be competing, as I said before, against in the under 18 category, but you know, they've still got a couple of years to go.
Can I draw you, Leslie, on some of the names that might be going out on that first race, or is that top secret?
No, it's not top secret. I think we know in the senior crew, Nicky Pryor will be stroking, Patrick Avesuto will be at 3, Edmund Benzadon at 2, and Derek Barbara will be at bow. In the ladies' cruise, Stacey Gregg will be stroking again. Sabrina Joyce at 3, and the Emma and Daniela Sopardi at 2 at bow. And in the junior 16s, we've got Jamie Allen, Charles Bonfante, Brandon Passano and Ben Lynch rowing for us. I'm sure they'll do well. And since it's the total time of all 3 crews, if any one boat doesn't perform as we expect them to, then we've always got the other 2 crews to count on. But I'm optimistic that we'll do well in the Saccarella. We did well. We won the Rotary, and I think we're well prepared for this one as well.
The morale is obviously high in the club for this coming season, and perhaps for overturning Med's domination of the Garbarino for the past few years?
Yeah, I think so. We've had, as far as I can recollect, what is probably our best winter training for many, many years. We haven't had any injuries. Everyone, as I said before, what I've tried to do is to make sure that everyone does exactly the same thing, that we all go through exactly the same training, that we all adopt the same technique. And we've had a very solid winter training session. And I'm confident that we'll do well this year. We'll certainly be there. Only time will tell.
Well, Liam, let's talk a little bit about the first crew, first of all. There's going to be some changes in personnel there for part of the season?
Well, that's right. We lost one of the main persons in our crew, which was James Viñales. He's gone over to the UK to study this year. He won't be rowing in our crew, obviously, because of this. However, possibly 3 of the 4 people last year will still row, including myself and Tyron Moreno, Steven Salon. We will be in the crew. Hopefully we're still looking for a good replacement, but to date we haven't found someone as good as James to fit in the crew.
And however, for part of the season you will still hope to have James back, perhaps later on in the summer months?
Well, that's right. He might be back for some of the races. He might be back during Easter and during summer, but we're not quite sure yet as to when exactly he'll be available to row here. But someone else will row, and possibly the endurance race we will field quite an experienced crew. It'll be someone who's rowed in the past, and it won't be a junior or an inexperienced oarsman.
Right, let's talk about the ladies now, because I believe there's been some changes of names and faces there as well.
Well, that's right. Unfortunately, the 4 female oarswomen in our first crew last year, the 4 of them decided they didn't want to continue rowing this year for different reasons, mainly due to studies, family, personal matters. And we've had to resort to the ladies who were in our second boat last year. And they've been training. Training hasn't been that hard, but I'm sure they'll put on a good show next Saturday. They'll give the Calpe ladies a good run for their money, definitely.
And how do you think that your juniors will be doing this season? Because they've been working quite hard as well, I believe.
Well, yes, they've been working hard, but not as hard as we would have wanted them to. Fortunately for us, 4 fit youngsters, and within their age group, they're very experienced. Because even though they're 17-year-olds, they have rowed in senior events in the past. They've rowed together a long time, and as I say, they're quite an experienced crew. We would have wanted them to train a bit harder, but for different reasons, again, mainly studies, this has not been possible. But I'm sure they possibly will have an advantage over the Calpe counterparts this Saturday, because I do believe the Calpe crew will be younger than them. So we might have an advantage, a good advantage there.
And finally, Liam, are you still optimistic about the Med doing well throughout the whole of the season?
It's going to be a close call, I think, this season. We will be fielding a good crew, a good top crew for the better part of the season, and this should help us as it has done in the past. Again, we also have a good set of 14 or 15-year-olds who started rowing this last year, and hopefully this year they'll win a couple of their events too. So they'll come. The points one by them will come in useful as well.